taking complex objects that you own and changing them in many ways. I've gone to Marion Island and right-clicked on a building that looked pretty simple, a good starting point, and I clicked Edit, and I can see here that it's called a general store right now, but the important thing is I can copy it. Anyone can copy it, and as the next owner I can copy, modify, or resell it. So this is the kind of building I want. I can right-click on the building and then click over to Take, because I actually own the building. You may have to click over to Take Copy, and that puts it in your inventory. Now move to a sandbox area or island that you own and take that building back out of the inventory. I clicked Inventory in the bottom right, and you could search for it, but I remember the name, so I'm typing it in and it will go over to that name. And notice I have 108 items in my inventory right now. Now I'm going to click and drag this out, being careful not to drag it onto my avatar or I will be wearing the building. Now the building may wind up going on top of me. It didn't this time, but it can, and that's not too bad. But if it does go on your avatar, you then have to detach it. Now I'm going to right click on the building and click Edit, which always moves me into this mode. Let me move so we can see this better, and I can see all the different pieces of the building. Now when I am still with this Edit menu, I can now go over to Select a Texture. And you'll notice that I get these bullseyes on all the different things I can modify. And I'm going to just click onto one of them. And let's change this. Now I'm going over to the Texture tab, and it's loading this grayish texture. But I'm going to click there and look for some other textures. Now if I go into the OpenSim library textures, I have some things that are described for me. But let's see what Clear does. Pay attention here too. If you wanted to apply immediately when you click it, you would then put this option on. Sometimes you want to see it first, so I think I'll turn it off and I'll click Clear, and you notice it just has boxes. Now let's see if I apply that. What does those boxes mean? And then I'm going to select this, and I'll just move this out. What the boxes mean is that I now have a clear piece of texture. So I've essentially created a window to my store. In the background you see the features of the island, because the island's actually popping up through my store right now. I'm just practicing here. So let's go back. I'm still in the edit mode because this is collected, but let's select a different window here, and I moved over to this texture. I'm going to click that, and I happen to know that I have quite a lot of textures. If I go over into my textures, I'll see a lot of these randomly numbered textures that were created when I uploaded them. That's a feature in cyberspace where random numbers are generated. And so you can see I have a number of different objects and features that I've already collected. And I could put these in, and as a matter of fact I will be applying them immediately. But let's go to something else that I've saved earlier. You might have seen this from another tutorial. I'm going to go to my colors, and those are my famous jelly beans. So they should automatically be there, and I'll click Select, and I will just close this down for a minute. So you can see I've now created this big window. I have a jelly bean display, and I'm messing up the building that I have and customizing it to myself. Now if I try to go in through this window, though, you'll see that it really isn't a clear transparent window that I can go in through. It's actually, I can't get in. That's because it is a clear window, but it's not something that I can move through. Now continuing here, I'm going to after I've lowered the building a little bit, go back into the edit mode, and I'm going to click over to my face that has, let me select the face. I'm just going to click over to the jelly beans and go into texture. And I'm going to make that brighter. Okay, just put it on full bright. I can even make things glow if you want to really get a little exotic. And so you can and should come in and practice with these things. Now I had thought that maybe I could go over and turn this into a phantom, which means I could walk through it. And although I've selected this face, when I go to features, I find under object the phantom over here is actually not highlighted. So it looks like I would have to unlink everything to get to that, and that would be dangerous because now all the pieces would come apart. So I'll do that some other time. This will just stay as a window. Now I have a space over here, and I've decided to make a sign. And I need to upload that sign because it's not on this computer. So I just created it. Okay, here's my crazy store sign. Okay, good. That looks like what I want. So I'm uploading it for free. And it's going into my inventory. And it's giving me a chance to create some other information about it. And you see, this is one of the random numbers that got generated for this. But I'm okay with that. I'm going to click to close it. Now I'm still over here on the particular face that I want to texturize with my sign. I clicked over to texture and it's loading, but now I'm remembering I called it crazy sign. Okay, there it is, my crazy store sign. Okay, that looks good. I will, well, it's going to be there already, but I'll select it as well. And here's my crazy store sign. Let's make it full bright. Once you've finished making all your crazy or logical adjustments, go into Edit and be sure that you go over to the General tab and now call it something that's more indicative of what it is that you now have. Okay, so it's now my crazy store, and I can decide whether I will let other people use it, buy it, or whatever. But for now, I'm just going to close it, and right now I've named it, which is very important. And then I would either take it, which puts it in my inventory and takes it away from the space, or I could do something like take a copy of it, which would keep it out here and put it in my space. Now I'm going to actually take the whole thing and remove it, and even though it's got a lot of prims in it, it's considered only one item for my inventory. And now if I were to go back to my inventory and look over under recent, under objects, I would see that my crazy store is now there because I just imported, just took the crazy store into my inventory. And if I wanted to, I could always pull it out again, and let's not try to pull it on myself, but here's my crazy store. So that is one way to repurpose buildings rather quickly.